One of our subscribers asked, how do you know whether a blue is warm or cool? Well, let's take a look at that. There are dozens of blues on the market. Anything from a deep, deep, deep blue, cool blue, to a really, really vibrant, warm blue in tubes available for you. So I can see how it might be confusing as to know which of these is warm and cool. Let's do a little experiment. I have 6 here, 6 variations of blue, all different names, and actually some different brands. But let me show you how we can do that. Now we start with a color wheel. Everything in painting starts with a color, should start with a color wheel, because the color wheel is to painting the same as the scales are in music. It's our reference. And so we start with a color wheel. Now take the blue on the color wheel. That blue is an equal distance from yellow and red. Yellow is the warmest color on the color wheel. So any color, any blue that leans towards yellow is warm. Any blue that leans towards red is cooler. Let me say that a different way. Because red is cooler, just a little, but red is actually a cooler hue than yellow. Any blue that moves towards red or towards violet is cooler than any blue that moves towards yellow or green, which makes it warmer. Now I'm going to do a few little samples for you here and show you exactly how that works. So what I'll do is I'm going to start with the Gamblin Ultramarine Blue, and we'll just add enough white to that so that you can see the temperature of the color. It is temperature we're talking about. And so now what I'll do here is, and this is something you can do too, just put a sample of that, and I'm going to hold it up here. Now, does that move more towards green or towards purple? Now you can see, your eyes can pick it up, that it moves more towards purple. It actually, even at whatever value mixture, if we darkened it a little bit, if the value of it confuses, and some of the people would be confused by the dark value, you see how it feels more like it's moving towards purple, violet, than it is moving towards yellow or green. So that is a cool color. Ultramarine blue is a cool color. Now, I'm going to rinse the brush out so we'll have a true test here. The next color I'm going to is the cobalt blue. Now this is the Grumbacher cobalt blue. The cobalt blue is one of those blues that is going to vary in hue, or maybe more so value, just a little bit, depending upon the company that makes it. But let's take a look at what actually happens. With this particular, you can do your own check with whatever cobalt blue you might have. And what you're going to find out, let's take another test strip here, and let's check out cobalt blue. What does cobalt blue do? We can see cobalt blue is very similar to ultramarine blue, but cobalt blue is closer to a truer blue on the color wheel. And so if you compare ultramarine blue with cobalt blue, you can see ultramarine blue leans very slightly towards purple, whereas cobalt blue sits pretty close to the what we might call spectrum blue. Well, what that means is that you wouldn't call cobalt blue cooler or warmer unless you have another blue to compare it with. So you'd say cobalt blue is slightly warmer than ultramarine blue, would be one way that you would say that. Now let's move to another color and see what we have there. The next color I have to show you is the Grumbacher Prussian blue. Now Prussian blue is one of those colors that is going to maybe vary just a little bit from manufacturer but not enough to even be noticeable. So I'll just get a little white right here and come down here, and now just pick up a little bit of the Prussian blue, and just enough of the Prussian blue in the white so that we can see what the color mixture is. Then if I place a swatch on the end of a little test strip, and I hold that here next to the color wheel. You can see that that tends to lean more towards yellow. You can see when you pull it down here, you see that it doesn't want to lean more towards violet, but you put it here and you get that sense of it wants to be, it's a little bit greener. The Prussian blue is a little bit greener than cobalt blue. Or see, here's cobalt blue. You can see them side by side like that. You can see cobalt blue is cooler than Prussian blue. And then, and of course, naturally, ultramarine blue, being the coolest, is even cooler than Prussian blue. So you can see that. All right, so there's that test. Let's put the cool ones over here. Now let's take a look at the others that I have on the palette for you and see exactly how they fall in the temperature. So rinse the brush, and when you're doing a test like this, it's always important to rinse the brush and be sure that the white that you get is, that you pull down, is a pure white, else you're going to ruin your experiment. Now this is phthalo blue, and this is a Utrecht phthalo blue. It could be any brand phthalo blue. Phthalo blue registers usually pretty universal. And so we'll put phthalo blue on a test strip right here. Now hold it up to the color wheel, and we feel it doesn't want to pull that way. It feels more contrasty with the purple. But I pull it this way and I hold it in front of the, yes it does, it wants to move more towards blue-green. So that means phthalo blue is actually a warmer blue. Now let's look at comparison of phthalo blue and ultramarine blue. Hold them together and you can see phthalo blue pulls more towards yellow, more towards green. Ultramarine blue turns more towards violet. Therefore ultramarine blue is cooler than phthalo blue. Alright, so we've got that test. And then let's see, we have just a couple of other blues here. You can see that phthalo blue and Prussian blue are very close to each other. Prussian is just a little bit lower intensity, but that doesn't affect its temperature, or its comparative temperature. So let's go then. There's a color Rembrandt has come out with called, I think it's pronounced Sèvres blue, or Sèvres blue, and so we won't need any white on it because it's an opaque color to start with. So if we hold this one up to the color wheel and still move it, just hold it right here between the blue and the blue-green, and you can feel it pulling more towards blue-green visually. You pull it down here, you see it begins to resist the violet. And then compare with the, this is the cobalt blue I've got here. Now you can see it pulls more towards the blue, the yellow, or the green, and that makes that feel warmer than ultramarine blue. I have one more to test and show you, and then maybe you can do your own test. It's a visual test you do, and if without a color wheel, you might find it a little bit difficult. So you do want to use a color wheel for that one. Now this is the cerulean blue. Cerulean blue, this is Grumbacher's, but cerulean blue is another opaque color, and it also is going to vary in hue, and sometimes it varies in temperature from manufacturer to manufacturer. So that would be one that you would want a specific test with. And so this is the Grumbacher cerulean blue, and it too is, if I hold it here next to the blue and then I pull, see how does it feel, and then I pull this way, how does it feel? I can feel it resisting the blue violet. I can feel it visually pulling towards, that's the yellow in it, visually pulling towards the blue green. And then again, if you compare phthalo blue, cerulean blue, one on the top, with cobalt blue, the one on the bottom, you can see that the cobalt blue is cooler and the cerulean is warmer. So if you found this quick tip helpful, we have a number of full-length video tutorials found at DianeMice.com. Go check them out. There might be some subject there that you might be interested in pursuing. And if you would like us to do a quick tip for you, If you'd like for me to answer a question, if something that you're confused about, like the previous questions we've been getting, drop us a comment right down here. Let us know, and we'll put your request on the schedule. And there's your quick tip.